Hello everyone and welcome back to Shelly's Millions. In today's video, I want to cover the topic of what happens if your employer calls you back to work and you decline their offer because either you are high risk or you are living with someone who is high risk of contracting COVID-19. Does that disqualify you for benefits? What could happen? If that's a topic that seems interesting to you, make sure to stick around to the end of the video. If you are liking the content in these videos, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share the video. It helps let YouTube know that more people might be interested in seeing these videos, and it helps me out and it helps the channel out, and I really appreciate it. I'm not a professional. I'm just someone going through the process of applying for unemployment benefits the first time myself. So even though I'm going to be reading straight off the EDD FAQ page, please make sure to do your own follow-up research and form your own opinions on all of these topics. As you'll see as I get further into the EDD FAQ page regarding this situation, you're going to notice that they use a lot of very non-committal information, like this may be the situation or this could be the situation. And basically, if you decline an offer to return to your employer, you might still qualify for some unemployment benefits, but they're going to look at it on a case-by-case scenario. So what that basically boils down to is it could delay your claim. It could mean that you need to file an appeal for your claim, because anytime the EDD needs to look at your information and take it on a case-by-case basis, that means it's going to require more time. And for those of you who have had issues getting your unemployment benefits, you know that anything that takes more time, that requires them to look into the matter further, that can have a delay on your benefits. Now, that's not to say that you wouldn't necessarily get them. It's just going to mean that someone is going to have to look at your claim, and that can take time. And of course, remember that regardless of the situation, as of right now, that extra $600 in additional unemployment runs out on July 25th here in California. So regardless of the situation, that won't be available to us, and Congress isn't even going to vote on whether they will extend it or in what form until after the July 4th holiday. So unfortunately, we don't have a lot of information to try and base our decisions on in regards to the additional unemployment money. Okay, so on the EDD website, under the Coronavirus 2019 FAQs, under the section Returning to Work, the first scenario is this. I was laid off when my employer's business closed due to the COVID-19 stay-at-home order, and my employer is reopening now. Will I lose my regular UI benefits if I refuse to return to work because I am in one of the categories of people that the California Department of Public Health, the CDPH, has identified as having elevated risk for contracting COVID-19? And here's the answer on that FAQ. The CDPH has issued public health guidance urging individuals who are over 65, immunocompromised, or have certain chronic health conditions such as heart disease, lung disease, or diabetes to stay at home due to higher risk factors. An individual is disqualified for UI if they refuse to accept suitable employment when offered. Under California law, the EDD will consider whether the particular work is suitable in light of factors such as the degree of risk involved to the individual's health and safety, and as a result, whether the individual has good cause for refusing the work. For example, even if your employer has complied with the state's requirements for reopening and any and all government safety regulations, you would have good cause to refuse to return to work if you are at a greater personal risk due to higher risk factors as identified by the CDPH. The article goes on to give the reverse argument, which says, However, you may not have good cause for refusing suitable work if your employer was willing to allow you to telework and you still refused the suitable work. In this scenario, you could be disqualified from continuing to receive regular UI benefits because there was an alternative available to work without compromising your health and safety. Therefore, workers are encouraged to speak with their employers about work options that are consistent with public health guidance, the reopening requirements, and any local public health orders. Such options may include telework or modified schedules. Employers may have a legal obligation to accommodate certain health conditions. The Department of Fair Employment and Housing has issued guidance regarding what employers must do to accommodate employees with recognized disabilities. So that is the first question that the EDD answered there. And again, it's on a case-by-case basis. And just to me personally, from all the stories I've been hearing and all the research I'm doing, case-by-case means there could be an interruption or a delay or a lot of long phone calls getting in touch with the EDD while they review your case. And that is not to say that you should return to work if you're sick or immunocompromised or have serious health concerns. It's just kind of, I'm letting you know that that might be what happens if they need to review your case because you declined work, that it may not be smooth sailing. You know, I do have confidence that if there are issues, the EDD will eventually get them resolved. It's just a matter of how long eventually takes. And again, since it's case by case, it's hard to say, especially since I'm not an expert, if they're going to approve your reason or if they're not. So it's just something to consider. Each person's situation is definitely unique to them. So this is just so that you can kind of have an idea of what you might be in for and what your options are. So I hope that helps. I'm going to go into the next EDD FAQ right now. So here is that second scenario that they give on that FAQ page. My employer furloughed me when its business closed due to the COVID-19 stay-at-home order. I am currently receiving regular UI benefits. My employer is reopening and has asked me to return to work. Will I lose my regular UI benefits if I refuse to return to work because I am afraid of contracting COVID-19 in the workplace? And here's the answer to that. An individual is disqualified for UI if they refuse to accept suitable employment when offered. Under California law, the EDD will consider whether the particular work is suitable in light of factors such as the degree of risk involved to the individual's health and safety. For example, if your employer has complied with the state's requirements for reopening and any and all government safety regulations, you may not have good cause to refuse to return to work and could be disqualified from continuing to receive regular UI benefits for a designated period of time. So again, we're going to notice how the EDD is very careful to say you could be disqualified. You may not have good cause. And that's because, again, they're going to look at each situation if you decline a return to work order on a case-by-case basis. This last scenario is one of the most frustrating. Well, they're all frustrating, quite honestly, but I talked to someone that I used to work with. They're now with another employer, and they just told me that they are still working, but they received a 25% pay reduction, which seems extreme to me. So I hope that when we return to work, that is not the scenario, but that is covered in the EDD FAQ as to whether you could decline an offer if they reduce your salary. And again, it's going to be case by case, but here is what the FAQ has to say about that. I was laid off due to a lack of customers at my employer's business establishment because of COVID-19. I am currently receiving regular UI benefits. With the reopening of businesses in certain industries, employers are advertising jobs in my community. The amount of salary being offered is less than what I received in unemployment benefits. Will I lose my regular UI benefits if I refuse these job offers? And here's the answer to that. Assuming you are able and available to work, you are generally required to search for work to be eligible for regular UI benefits. Individuals are required to accept what is considered suitable work, which includes working at the prevailing wage based on the individual's particular skills and/or occupation. But an individual may have good cause to refuse work if the wages, hours, or other working conditions for the work offered are substantially less favorable than those prevailing for similar work in the locality. For example, if you are offered a job at $20 per hour, but other jobs in your community doing the same type of work at your skill level are typically paid at $30 per hour, you may have good cause to refuse the work. However, you would not have good cause for refusing the work solely because the wages you are offered for the work are less than the amount you have been receiving in your regular UI benefits. So what that sentence means is, a lot of us were receiving more in unemployment benefits than we were when we were working. So it's not based on how much you were getting when you were getting unemployment benefits. It's based on what other jobs in the same industry that you're in are offering as a wage. And again, it's case by case. So it doesn't flat out say you could lose your benefits if you refuse an offer for work that is significantly less. It just says they're going to look at it case by case. And so we really don't know how that's going to play out. So if you are offered less, or you apply for a job at a different company and it's less than you were making at your previous employer, it looks like you possibly could still get some benefits, but it's not guaranteed. It's just case by case. So I just want to stress that. I know a lot of my viewers have questions about what to do if your employer calls you back to work and you don't have childcare for a child that's living with you at home. And that's going to be a lengthy topic, so I am going to make a video on that. I'm not going to cover that in today's video. The short answer is it's going to be on a case-by-case basis as well. But there are some other programs available. So make sure that you're subscribed if you need to know what to do if you're asked to return to work, but you do not have childcare available for your children. And lastly, if you want 2 free stocks, one of which could be valued up to $1,400, you get 1 free stock for opening a Webull account. You get a second free stock, and that's the one that could have the higher value of up to $1,400 when you make an initial deposit of $100 into that Webull account. And I'm going to drop that link down below for you guys to use. I have nothing against Robinhood. If you use my referral link for Robinhood, you get 1 free stock valued up to $500. You do not need to make a deposit. You do need to link a bank account. And that's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching Shelly's Millions.